Warning: the content of the video that you are about to watch pertains to the harvest of fur-bearing wildlife through the practice of ethical, sound wildlife management of modern-day trapping. If this bothers you, if it triggers you in any way, shape, or form, please leave this channel now. Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. Guys, I don't have a whole lot for you today, but what I do have I feel like is kind of important. Excuse me. Yesterday I had a comment from a viewer up in Maine. Apparently their beaver sets all have to be lethal in that state. They're not allowed to long chain anything alive. It all has to be on drowners, or it has to be conibear or something of that sort. So his question was, he's been trying to trap out of a boat, or wanting to trap out of a boat, but he's been using brake rotors for drowning weights. So I explained to him that you could put a disposable on the end of that drowner instead of having to pack all those weights. And he couldn't quite grasp how to do that. So that's what I want to go through with you today. Is I've built a short one here just for demonstration purposes only. We put a snare on it because that was another question of his, is how to run a drowning apparatus with a snare, just for lightweight in the boat. So anyway, without any further ado, let's get this thing flipped around here and get started at it. All right, guys. So here's what I do. This is a Berkshire heavy duty disposable stake, and you just put it on the end of, this is a 3/32 cable. Doesn't matter, you can use 1/8 inch if you want to. That's entirely up to you. I just attach it right to the end of the cable. Then I go to the other end. Let me back up before we get too far into this. I attached a lock, and it doesn't matter what kind of lock it is. It can be a universal lock or a swivel. It can be a bent washer such as this, a cam lock, slim, micro, Thompson, Hoffman, whatever kind of lock you want to use. It is attached to the end of our snare. Our snare is basically going to open up just a little bit bigger than a 10-inch loop, okay? Now this lock, I just threw this thing together. It hasn't been trained, or it hasn't been loaded or anything. It's just thrown together a snare. All right, make sure you're using whatever kind of lock is legal in your state, whether it's a relaxing type lock or whether you can use a cam lock. Make sure you're following all the laws, okay? So we attach the lock to the end of the snare. Now this just gives us just enough to support that snare loop, and that's it, no more. We slide our cable through, and then on the other end of the cable you put another disposable. Now I'll back up here and kind of demonstrate this a little bit, or try to, as to what you're up against. We're gonna push the one lock out into the deep water, okay? The other lock is pushed into the bank, or the other disposable is pushed into the bank. Make sure that your lock is sliding one way. All right, it'll go, and make sure that it's going the right way so that the beaver can go down the cable, but he can't come back, okay? Guys, that's all there is to it. It's pretty simple. I mean, there's a couple different ways you can put these on. If you want to take them back off, you can use those split rings like I use. And all you would do is put cable on your disposable, whatever length you want, cut it, put a loop in that end, put that split ring on here, put a loop in the other end of your drowning cable, and attach it that way. You can also go loop to loop. You would put a loop in the end of your cable on your disposable, a loop in the end of your drowning cable, feed one loop through the other loop, feed the disposable back through the loop, and pull it down tight, and you can put it in that way as well. So there's several different options here. Anything to help cut down weight on a boat. And believe me, I understand, and I know what he's going against. You know, when you get, 50, 60, 70 footholds in a boat, and you're trying to use drowners because you have to, especially, okay, let's just say, for instance, you throw 40 number 3s in a boat, and then you throw 40 brake rotors in there, you are loaded and heavy. This is absolutely no weight whatsoever to you. doesn't matter. Okay, so I completely understand your question. So anyway, that's how I would. Dang gnats, August, and we got gnats, or almost August. So anyway, that's how you would do that. And then if it was a foothold, you would do it the same way. You would attach your drowning lock to your, run your cable through it, put your disposables on. It's all one unit that way. You just coil it up, wrap it around itself, and there it is when you're done, when you're pulling or moving or something of that sort. And it's, make sure you get your snare to where it's just the right length to make your loop. You've got just a little bit left, and that's it. That's pretty much all there is to it, guys. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in to watch. And if you would, please just hit that thumbs up for me. That's all I'm asking. Once again, this is Dale Billingsley with another one. Signing out.